Welcome to another episode of Undressed with your very favorite people, Joe Francis, and my lovely, beautiful co-host, Miss Taylor Ferber.
Now, hi, Joe. Thank you for that. Do you like what you see? I'm just wondering.
Yes, but I'm not a superficial person. I just don't look for, beauty and oh no,
never.
I'm totally superficial.
The guy who created an entire, empire on women showing their bodies, but no, you're all about the deep, meaning and heart in life. We get you, Joe.
And you know what? It's so interesting that you should say that, because that brings us to why we are here today. This company, 23andMe, a genetic testing company in the United States, Taylor and I both did the 23andMe test. Taylor, I have given her my username and password. She has given me hers. And we are going to openly explore our genetic heritage, our traits, and our DNA. And I couldn't help but notice.
What? Whatever is so peculiar to you today, Joe.
Can you tell me just a little bit about your wardrobe choice for today?
Oh, this?
Yes.
So I am happy to. I am now identifying as not only my own, but actually your strong African queen. And, while that was a really lovely intro, is something funny?
No, I'm just, I'm
okay.
African queen.
I'm
just thinking like that's
the
like
genetics,
coming to America.
The genetics speak. And while that was really a marvelous introduction, we kind of had talked a little bit about this. And so I'm a little remiss that you did not refer to me as the undressed, strong black lead and African queen. So,
well, let's talk about that. Well, that's why we're here. So we are, I do have your genetic test, and, we have had time to review. So I will touch on a few things, and I see that, Taylor, you are 0.7% South African, and then another 0.3% Nigerian. Now,
I don't
is
actually
that where
think
the Black Lives Matter comes in?
Hang on, I don't think it's South Africa. Well, yes, but I don't think they're South African. This is straight up. I believe it was it North African? Either way,
well, no, when
it's
you
African.
Combine it, no, you're right. When you combine it, it's 4.7% African, but Black people generally live in Southern Africa. It's a different demographic, but hey, Black Lives Matter. So
Black Lives Matter. And listen, the numbers don't lie. Well, we're going to debunk that and find out today. Okay.
I don't know. I just want to know about your Nigerian heritage. Can you explain?
You and I both. Listen, it seems as though there is some Nigerian heritage. I also am pretty much, as this has established, the heir of Cleopatra with like 4% Egyptian. We can address that. What I want to know is, yes, 0.7%, Nigerian. Where are my reparations? Where are my BLM donations that went to all of the founders' mansions? Like, there will be hell to pay, and I want answers on those things. Because, I have the 23andMe, but like we said, before they go out of biz, I have the receipts. So.
Okay, but just for the sake of the show and the audience and the non-bias that we bring to the authenticity that we bring to our show, Taylor, our Undressed show.
Yeah.
Considering that your numbers are well below 1% for actually African American, and I know you support BLM, but I'm going to ask you.
Do I? You go ahead.
But I'm going to ask you to remove the shirt. I'm assuming you have another shirt that you can wear.
Listen. It's going to be hard because I've really attached to this part of my heritage. And, like I said, the fact that you are now all bowing down to your African queen. But yes, I guess.
Hold on. Does Amazon have returns?
Wait, Yeah.
Anyways,
okay. So now that we've established.
Done.
Now that we've established that.
Much better shirt. Okay.
Now let's get this party started.
All right. So let's talk
Woo!
about
Okay.
you.
Taylor had entered the chat.
And
Let's go.
yeah, you've entered
Hi,
the
Joe.
chat.
Okay.
Hi.
So
You're no longer
now that I'm
African
here,
American. Yeah.
that's fine, but I'm still now I'm your Egyptian queen. So how does it feel to have a real life Cleopatra Egyptian
real life-
queen in your
okay.
life?
And what city was Cleopatra born in? Do you remember?
Do we want to talk about?
No, but you
wanna
hate
talk
this
about
stuff, so I love to
This
ask
coming from
questions
the
like
man. This coming from the man.
She
I
hates
wish
numbers and history, everybody. So if you want to just throw
let's
this
talk
at her
about
DMs,
numbers.
let's do
Let's
it.
talk about numbers. Let's talk about letters. I wish there was some sort of IQ dyslexia breakdown in this, because this man, while we were going into the archives of each other's 23andMe accounts, couldn't even figure out his own email address. So, with that said,
there was a misspelling. That's true.
I have a question for you, okay?
Figure out
Because
his
since we
email
are,
address.
since what's that?
Figure out his email address.
But where's the lie? Okay. Since we are in the weeds of each other's ancestry here, I'm just wondering, because I found out, as to be expected, you're about half a mix of European, all northern, like you got Europe covered, okay?
Yeah, Europe's covered.
You also
my
know,
mom. My
which
mom
was
is from
news.
Vienna, Austria, so my mom's got that covered.
Yeah. Well, this was news to me. Okay. You're about 49%. You got Arab, Levantine, which you definitely
Lebanese.
did not know what that was before this show, but I'm
Yeah.
impressed. So I'm wondering, is that a reason you have an extra glow and spray tan today to honor your brown boy roots? Because you're looking hella brown today.
Aren't I?
And so,
Aren't I?
yeah, so
Am I
I'm just a
nice?
little suspect on what happened there.
Definitely that's the Levantine. I mean, when I go out in the sun, I have olive skin, and that's my late father's Lebanese heritage. And it's interesting, if you go on this website, the 23, and I was clicking around, you can actually see where your relatives live in Lebanon. I mean, when Lebanon was still there, I don't know, that was months ago, but it's definitely. But you know what? We covered just 1% of your life, Taylor. So you pretty much just sandwiched me down.
Where was the Levantine on last week's show? Where was it? I think you were definitely not this brown. So I'm just wondering when the melanin, like kicked in full throttle. It must have been, embarking on this journey.
Well, young lady, I mean, be careful, because you happen to be 3.8% Arab, Egyptian, and Levantine. So
I'm saying.
I know. All right. And let me cover this. You're 30.8% Ashkenazi Jewish.
That's right.
Which means, do you know what that means?
Well, we're lighter skinned, but I have a lot of people.
Go ahead. Let's turn the show into racism. We're lighter skinned Jews. Okay. Stop that right there.
But we're allowed to be racist toward ourselves, even though everyone is racist toward each other and no one talks about it. That's another thing, like Blacks and Asians, how racist they are to each other. But anyways, that's maybe another show for another day, which actually kind of brings us to our thing later, our bigger point about all this. But
we're related.
We are. You're my 3.6% Ashkenazi. Brother from another Mazel Tov, brother from another mother. How does it feel?
We're cousins. How funny is that? Now, all Ashkenazi Jews descended from 300 people on the Rhine River Valley in Germany. And that's a fact. And all are 1 in 30 cousins of each other, and all are cousins of Albert Einstein. That's an interesting fact.
Is that why we're so brilliant, except for when you need to recall your email address?
It wasn't recalling, I was forwarding it, but whatever.
That doesn't make it better.
That doesn't make it better. Really? Okay. All right. We're going to do stats and math later in the show, guys. So just stay tuned for us to really have some fun. But let's talk about,
Joe debunking women, just telling them do back.
Your mom and your dad, because look, you're 63.6% Italian.
Mamma mia.
Straight up Italian.
My family's off the boat. That's right, Italian Jew. Fuck with us.
I don't know where Mount Etna and the Semito Basin. So
it's in the wildest dreams of your undressed show, okay? Is where it is. And I will just say, I'm really grateful that we also share the Ashkenazi, like we'd established like cousins, all this. But, now that I'm feeling like Black and proud, I want to know how you feel being Jewish and proud. I mean, you're already
I know.
circumcised, so you have that going. So it's like
Oh,
you're a Jew and you're already there.
Yeah. How do you know that, by the way? But okay. Yeah.
23andMe.
Yeah.
I talked to some people over there.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I made an offer they couldn't refuse.
But you know what? In my defense with the circumcision surgery, it was, I was just born and it was a surgical procedure performed without my express consent at all. And I'm sure when they cut off my penis, I cried. So that's all I can say. But that's a whole nother episode. What I want to ask you.
That's fair, but that doesn't seem very proud of your Jewish heritage, Joe. Like,
oh no,
like rock the circumcised cock proudly in your Jewish Jew foundation.
I wouldn't be. Are you kidding? Until I got this test, I couldn't explain all the money I had. And then I'm like, I'm Jewish. Oh my God, no.
I mean, all the control you have in Hollywood, like the list goes on and on from inside your pants and out. Like, honestly, I don't even know where to begin. So,
well, another statistic: 55% of all billionaires in the United States are Jewish. So there you go. Now. I want to know because you must have looked at this because, you had a lot of, I don't want to call them negative, but colorful things to say about Ukrainians. And you happen to be a Ukrainian Jew.
Ain't that funny? I mean, honestly, I'm so pulled right now between the BLM cause and Zelensky's Ukrainian cause. I don't even know which way to go. It's just like I have a lot on my plate right now for the social justice causes now that I've learned all of this information. So, I'm going to have to figure out how to divvy up my time because this was really enlightening. I have to say.
It is enlightening. And it also, though, Taylor, I don't know if you felt this way, but yes, Joe, but I don't know if you felt this way. But it does.
Are you my master? Should I say master, Joe? Too soon?
Like
Too soon?
No, master's good. Master's good. It's okay.
I can get used to this.
Yeah. As long as we can get a lower third in there. As long as, Jorge will give us a lower third master and then.
I see. Just so we're all clear on the same page. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay.
Hey. You're not dragging me into your slavery crap with the BLM crap, right? Because I don't want to go there. I'm not going there.
I brought up reparations. I brought up, I haven't seen a penny from the millions of dollars, gone into mansions that were raised for BLM. So, I won't, we have enough to worry about here, Joe. I'll take that up with them and the powers that be over there. So don't you worry. You're off the hook for now. As long as you refer to me as your, whatever you feel, if it's your strong Black queen or Egyptian Cleopatra queen, whatever you're feeling that day, that works for me,
Yeah. Well, what I'm interested is when you looked at your test, right? Because when I looked at mine, I looked at my 23andMe test and I'm like, well, this is right. This is accurate. Like there are chocolate people and there are vanilla people. And I'm a vanilla person. And my ex was a chocolate person. I have one daughter that's a vanilla person, one that's a chocolate person. And it was exactly right. And things like this, like,
when he says chocolate, by the way, he's not just talking about my definitely hung great Nigerian heir chocolate man. He's talking, because then I'm so glad that you brought this up, Joe, because this whole portion of 23andMe is what really makes me think that this entire thing is a hoax because they have your Ancestry pie chart, so to speak. Okay. But then they have a whole tab of habits and traits. And it's all kinds of kooky things like unibrow, like Joe needs to know
I'm so happy you picked unibrow because you're at 59%.
So are you.
I don't.
So it makes me wonder.
You have mine, I have yours.
It makes me wonder because some of these things, it's like, are you salty, sweet, vanilla, chocolate taste? What, Joe?
We're unibrow people. I'm 59. You're 59%.
You're pretty up there yourself. You're about
What
a
am I?
50-50 chance. And so I want to know who does your threading and your waxing, because that is just a superior, supreme job. But in all seriousness, Joe, before we get into the fun traits, this is what really had me thinking, because I don't know about you, but there were parts that I know for sure are in my DNA that did not show up, i.e., I'm part Sephardic Jew, Greek, Polish, Russian, and like where this all said 000%. So 23andMe, it's a wonder you're going out of business, babe, because like where are the numbers? I have questions. So also, I prefer vanilla over chocolate. You know, again, nothing against like, you know, a chocolate hung man. I'm just saying. So like, what? I don't know. Were yours all that spot on?
Honestly, I have to say mine are spot on. And I actually use this as a tool to either confirm things about myself that I already knew, or like, because trust me, I was looking to hate on this thing, just like you are, kind of, because a few things were off on years. I know, like
I wasn't looking to though. I wanted to love it.
Yeah.
It was like the stupid Barbie movie. Like I wanted to love it, and then it just came with disappointment. And so that's how I felt about
Destroyed your childhood, that Barbie movie, huh?
Yes.
You really did. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, look, I mean, you're less likely to have thick hair, but your hair looks wonderfully thick.
Is this not luscious?
Yes, it's lush. But I think it's funny that you do have a 50-50 chance of having a fear of public speaking. I thought
that was interesting too, because what
does mine say?
So yours, I actually was going to ask you about this, okay? Because yours says, I mean, you're like Crocodile Dundee, according to this, okay? Like adrenaline guy. It says,
who's Crocodile Dundee?
Adventurous Crocodile Man.
Oh, for our younger
or
audience.
Steve Irwin.
Or
Steve
born
Irwin,
in the
okay, for all intents and purposes. Okay. It says that you are not likely to have a fear of public speaking, of heights, or no motion sickness. So what are you, the Terminator? Like,
yeah,
exactly.
lie.
No,
I'm
no,
AI.
bullshit.
I'm AI.
You actually
AI. Yeah.
You actually are.
Yeah. I have no fear of anything. Yeah, it's true. It says that on there, and
that's nonsense, Joe. Of all of these, there has to be a lie. I'm sorry. Is there something, or what is your biggest fear? You have to have a fear.
Oh, I hate snakes. I hate snakes. I hate them.
See? So I'm just saying.
Like,
it's a good thing you're not gay. Because it's like, I mean, you got to really like have a method,
Does it say that on there? Because
did you miss that part? Wait, you missed that part.
Does it say not gay or no?
You missed that part. Or maybe it's just women's tuition. Who knows?
Or maybe I have to pay for that extra module.
Exactly.
Because
exactly.
I'm looking on yours, and gay and straight isn't on here. But
listen,
likely you can smell a pea asparagus odor detection, and you have
that's true.
You just like cilantro.
That's true. But again, it says I prefer chocolate over vanilla, not so much.
True.
This is the biggest fake news, that I prefer sweet over salty. Absolutely not. So between that and the mix of the other things, I was feeling all high and mighty, learning about my African roots, and now I'm like, what? Like, it's like our news cycle. I don't even know what to believe anymore. But, talking back.
The funniest thing, look, we were talking, okay, South Park. We watched.
I was just going to bring that up.
Okay. All right. You go ahead, please.
Okay. So here's where this honestly kind of seeps into our psyches and what's going on in culture right now, because South Park did a genius episode. It was like in 2017, and it was making fun of all this. It's called DNA and Me. And the guy he is like on a mission to prove that he is of indigenous descent. And it's this whole funny story. But the ad for the quote DNA in Me shows what we're talking about today, right? How it has all of these white looking people being like, I'm 0.2% the African, I'm 0.3% Asian, and I'm a victim of this, and I'm a victim of that suppression, and I'm a victim of, colonization, whatever it is. And I can't lie. This actually had a little small glimpse of an effect on me when I did my test.
Wow.
I'm literally not gonna lie. When I
Wait,
saw
what do you
it,
mean
right?
though?
Because I've been shamed for, I've always used like the woman Italian Jew card. I'm like, that's the only trifecta of the oppression Olympics. And when I
Now you
found this
got
out, I was
Levantine?
like, okay. I was like, oh, I have a little Egyptian, brown, African. Okay, guys, yeah. So now what are you going to say about this white girl? Like, there was a part of me for like 30 seconds there that was like, oh. So it wasn't totally off base. And that just speaks
It's
to
true. No, it's really
our
true.
culture at large, the victim
Exactly. But
Olympics.
but there's two ways to look at it, right? In South Park, I mean, Trey and Matt, love you guys. You guys are brilliant. Always friends, always support. You know that both ways. And I mean, they've done so many great shows on me throughout the years too. And I love being made fun of too. I don't, and it's all in good fun. But you take like that example, right? And that's the extreme example. And of course, you open the show with the Black Lives Matter t-shirt, and you have every right to wear that just as much as anybody else, because who has the DNA that backs it up. And you can either be entitled and take this woke ideology and take this, stance that you're going to stand in there, or you're going to accept that we're all Americans, right? We're the most mixed race in the world.
Yeah.
We're the melting pot, and we all come from all these different backgrounds. We're all from immigrants. Every one of us, even the white ones, they're from immigrants too, because there were no white people in America.
Well, yes, that's very true. But putting a pin in that, because I know we're kind of like getting to this in our bigger picture happy ending here with all of this, because you're talking about our genetic makeup and our identity, and we have all been bought into these identity politics. So I'm curious for you, Joe, do you think that this concept would work as like a dating app? And like, do we need to know this information? For example, I thought hopping into this, Joe's basically half brown boy, Arab, Levantine. Like, are you into brown women? Is that your thing? Like, do we need to know this? Or is it just a colorblind melting pot like you're saying? I mean, tell us, how in terms of, because, we know you're procreating a la Elon Musk.
All right. Yeah, definitely into procreation. But
that we know.
All I can tell you, or practicing procreation.
Can be confirmed.
Yeah, practicing procreation, and I pulled it off a few times with an actual baby, but or two. It's a very interesting question, Taylor. Do I think 23andMe would be a great tool for dating? It really depends. I think it would be a fantastic tool to know if the girl you're going to take out and possibly have sex with is your cousin or half sister. I think those are probably the best tools. Now, if you're going to choose to procreate with somebody or mate with someone, I think you have to do 23andMe, because you can see compatibility issues like blood type. You can see, health issues like BRCA1 and BRCA2. Those are the genetic markers in women that cause breast cancer. So you're able to now, through PGD and PGDI, remove those in IVF, right? So you're able to test for that for $99 on this test, and that test, 5-10 years ago was $10,000. So these are really important things to know about someone. Now, on a first date,
but how do we
on a
know
dating app,
legit?
I don't think so. I don't, Taylor. What do you want to like? Oh, because I'm 1% Nigerian. You were 1% Nigerian.
Actually, 0.7%. No, I'm just kidding.
You're 0.3 Nigerian. You're 0.7% African.
Oh, my bad.
Specific, but it's like, look, I also believe, and correct me if you, no, don't correct me. Just disagree with me if you do. Right. I think opposites attract. I think polar opposites attract too.
So you're not into brown women, is what you're saying? Because don't do the weave like Trump.
What do you mean brown? How brown are we going? Like, how brown?
It's a choose your own. How brown? I mean, I guess that says it there.
I like to tan. Look at me.
We see that, yes. In celebration of this newfound information.
Am I going to be dating the next lead actress of the Lion King 5? No, probably not. But
got it.
That's,
got it. Everyone has their taste and their flavor. Like and like black guy friends of mine know this. Like I'm not super into black dudes, despite my 0.3 Nigerian, ancestry there. It's just not my flavor. That's okay. I just,
It is okay. And it really is okay. But if you knew all those other traits and they were accurate, see, unfortunately for you, and you're one of the rare cases that a lot of this stuff, or either you're really lying and you don't.
You're like, and you're really into black men with huge dicks, though. But look at all the black women, by the way, who are in date white guys.
All black men have huge dicks. I love all the generalizations you make on the show. It's statistically accurate. I love because our audience is well informed, and you know that everything that comes off the show you can repeat to your friends without Googling it. Because
it's kind of like the ones that you make about women. I mean, it's like even going into this, I was like, we can safely assume that Joe or any guy with a pulse loves some TNA. Taylor, and I'm going to generalize this, all women, you women, I'm speaking for all of you, we love like some nice ripped abs, like a jawline, a big package, so to speak. But, so that's generalizing, sure. But again, do we need this info? Or do we just see where the wind blows us, in real time and find out for ourselves? Like, do we need a whole blow by blow on something like a 23andMe, even though it's going away? Like, does that help us? Like, say you're meeting someone and you exchange the papers. How awkward. Oh, so I see you have
I don't even think that's awkward. I think that's kind of cool. It's like, because it's a great conversation. Like,
that's true. That's true.
Like, is this true about you? Is that true about you? Like, learning. Look, I love dating and the initial part of dating because I love learning about a new person, and getting to know a new person. I think that's fun for me. And that's always been a fun thing about dating. A lot of people are really lazy and they don't like to socialize. They don't like to get to know it. So they stay in relationships for a long time. They may be unhappy. And now I'm more the person that likes to explore. But Taylor, what you're missing here, and I know we're not covering health at all, and we're just completely staying away from health, but like to see if someone has cystic fibrosis. So if you're going to have a partnership with somebody and you're going to have a baby with somebody, if they're a carrier of that gene, then, you probably should not. I mean, that's why California and most states require blood tests to find out if these things exist so you can have babies for marriage licenses. Because if you knew all this up front before you fell in love and had a baby, I mean, you would have a much healthier society with a lot less people marrying their cousins. And
you're like, and who are stupid. Joe on his quest to build a superior race.
Be an Elon. It's Elon asking me to really, but he's doing it one person at a time.
Meanwhile, here I am going, 23andMe shows you if you're more likely to have a longer second toe than big toe or gooey earwax over dry. And Joe's over here being like, so listen, we're going to compile everyone's IQ and we're going to weed out the retards, okay? It's what we're going to do here. So listen.
That is a great idea, Taylor. Like,
it's like, I'm so glad you mentioned it.
Let me write that down.
So all of Gen Z is white. Is that what this means? That we're really
Gen Z,
no.
Gen Z, just that's her. Okay. Joe Francis, I love you.
My thoughts are my own. Yeah. Taylor's thoughts did not reflect those of one.
Yes. For Gen Z, Taylor's.
Love you, Gen Z.
Yeah, I
love you, mean it. Love you, mean it. But I'm right. Okay. I'm not wrong, Gen Z, about that. I'm just saying. So, but
wait, do you believe that? Do you actually believe Gen Z knows how bad they are? Or do you
so I think
is it just that we all think that every other generation?
I don't think
it was just the generation above that would think the generation below are lazy and entitled and everything else. But now I find Gen Z has attracted every generation all the way to the top.
I collectively hate them. No.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Because So I'm a
It's
millennial.
unfair, Gen Z. You're being unfairly
No, it's
criticized
not
because-
unfair.
No,
Oh, please, boo-hoo. They have enough
Taylor, we-
participation trophies. No.
No, we
Wean
did
them
this to
off your
them.
breast milk, okay? They don't need to be
choose to
coddled
have
anymore.
Oh, you're so full of shit. They didn't choose to have social media. They didn't choose to have cell
Oh,
phones in
please.
their hands.
You know what?
And born with.
I
We
will say,
destroyed that generation.
I was going to
okay?
say, maybe
Blame
it's the parents'
ourselves.
fault. It's the
Yes.
parents' fault. Because we millennials, I feel like we're a little self-aware about how entitled and we just want to, be entrepreneurs and work from home. Gen Z, they have no idea. They need safe spaces. They need to talk about their emotions and their feelings. Like, they're not even aware. At least we know these people are residing on a map that is not even covered on 23.
Exactly. They think they're autistic one day and then they're ADHD.
No, exactly.
They have all these acronyms that we don't even. I'm like, Jesus, what are you people? I'm like, really? You have,
No, they're another species. They are these hyper species.
but we created those people. Like it's our fault. Come
But
on.
you would hook up with the Gen Z.
Of
He's like,
course.
that's a different story because they're not talking.
Yes. Yesterday happened. Of course. Yes.
Yesterday.
I love Gen Z. And also, I'll tell you.
Now he loves Gen Z.
No,
They're in bikinis around his house.
Look, all I mentioned is everyone else hates Gen Z. But I see the value of Gen Z because they have grown up with social media. Now, we've destroyed them, okay, with this, because growing up with a cell phone in their hand and social media, which you think is actual socialization, which is total bullshit, which is anti-socialization, really, because you're hiding behind a screen all day. And as we covered on other episodes, not having sex or not doing anything. But they're great because they are exposed to more information. So they have so much more information about health, so much more information about alcohol, so much more information about every other subject that they can then Google on that phone too, and be more educated. And I guess use that knowledge to doing more of nothing. This what I see coming out of that generation.
Wow. Great. So we are just dead in the water. Although Elon's latest baby mama may have been Gen Z. Did you hear that whole story? That literally just happened.
I did. And I've known Elon.
Who are you procreating with, pal?
No, Elon's going to procreate. He's going to go to over 100, maybe 200. I mean, he told me, I remember one time we were having dinner at, what was it? Koi in LA. And, Elon believes the standard deviation of intelligence is 15%, right? That is not correct, but don't tell Elon I said that because he'll argue with me for another 10 hours about it. But he believes that he can, and I'm with him. As long as you can pay for him and populate the world. And he wants to populate the world with himself. And he has his own issues for that. He suffered a trauma, he suffered a crib death. And it's like I've suffered a brutal kidnapping of an abuse of my daughters. So it's like I'm traumatized by that too. And Elon runs a lot off of that trauma. But yeah, with the 13, he can't even make a deal. He's the richest man in the world. Can't make a deal with his baby mama.
It's a damn shame. Talk about what happened to I'm all about his government efficiency, but what about the efficiency of the baby mamas? Like, this guy's giving Nick Cannon a run for his money. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, no, he's going to hit numbers he's going to hit way. Look, I'm friends with the guy. Elon's going to hit numbers out of the park. He doesn't care about me telling you. It's going to go to the hundreds. If he can't.
So how do you explain missing? This is like maybe another show for another.
I've had this.
But they say like a nuclear home. Okay, a nuclear home, a present father figure. You're showing up with 23andMe papers, which I have a little challenge for you, contrary to what you told me before after that. But I'm just saying, it's like, wait, aren't they a little bit at odds? How are you all over the place? You can only be in one place at one time.
Yeah, and the way he feels is, he has created his own schools, which they have to go to. Now, I think the situation with this woman, and I can't get into his personal legal stuff because I'm privileged with that information, but I think she had the contract going in, and then she decides, just like every other person who wants to take advantage, to change the agreement, and Elon will not stand for that. And until she agrees to the terms that were pre-set out before the pregnancy, then I believe that he will come to terms with her and pay her. Like if you agree on something, you can't change it after you have the baby, right? Don't you agree?
I agree. And I
Yeah.
also want to say, I feel like you, after this episode, should identify. I mean, I won't tell you, what to do, but I personally feel like you should identify as a Caroline Levitt press secretary of Elon Musk because you're doing like such a great job of letting us know the blow by blow of like what's going on over there.
I think he does a great deal. Yeah, but like I'm defending him. Like I mean, she's trying to roll over on him. I mean, I've done financial deals with Elon. He's easy to deal with, he's not unreasonable at all.
I love
would
Elon.
never call him.
I love an Elon moment. I hope to get him down from his spaceship on our show. And I think that it'll happen and he'll have some splaining to do about the baby mamas. But
no, he would love to explain that to us on the show. And
let's get him
openly. Absolutely. And we will.
I'm an Elon stan. But Joe, speaking of
I'm an Elon friend, not a fan, but a friend.
No, call him now or it didn't happen. Call him now or it didn't happen. We'll see about that. No. But that's Elon right now saying bullshit. Yeah, he just texted me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. But okay, help me get into the male psyche before we wrap, because there are two things, Joe Francis, that are a little bit at odds in your 2020 breakdown. Okay, before we finish here. One is when we were going into this, I said, again, like the date and you bring the papers, like, is there something that men and women wish the other knew about their respective sex? And you kind of made a joke of like, what is there to know? If they're hot, I'm down. If not, I'm out. Like primal right there. But now you're coming with papers and you're cross-pollinating with genetics and health and all this. So which is it?
Well, I think it's both. And I think it's what are your intentions, right? What are your intentions for dating this person? Like if your intention is to procreate and have a child, like you better have all that stuff ironed out, because, you have to be genetically compatible, because like I mentioned before, if one person is a carrier for cystic fibrosis, you're going to have a child with cystic fibrosis, like probably. Or, the same thing is with sickle cell anemia, which is very common in the Black community and African Americans. So you might want to be tested for sickle cell, disease. So those types of things are really important. And I'm not saying, Taylor, bring it to the first date. I'm saying like, hey, let's, do this, a few weeks into dating. If you like somebody, it's fun to look at that and learn about each other. Now, you asked an interesting question. Well, people want to hide everything, I feel like, when they're first dating. Like, oh my God, if they got to know me, really? Oh my God, they're going to run like the last guy, right? So I think women are very guarded. And I think it's a way to pull down that guard just a little bit. And it's a way, really, I just see, and it's like, God, the whole world, America is the richest country in the world. It is the most successful experiment in the world because it is the melting pot, because we are all not just one thing. We are all a mix of different races. And I think these tests and this proves that. It's not like the people are wrong, like who, and I know South Park did a great job. Yeah, the people who go out there and say, oh, I'm entitled to this and that and the other thing. By the way, no one's entitled to anything. So give it up. Nobody's entitled to the sympathy of,
I agree,
because we've all been through it. I mean, come on. You just revealed I'm half Lebanese. What about in 1912 when the Turks invaded Lebanon and massacred all the Lebanese people? What about, our European Jewish heritage that we talked about? I mean, we could spend a week on the air here talking about our hardships.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, we could spend a week talking about our hardships. But instead, like, this is what is the fabric that brings us together. And that's what we can use to just self-embrace it, not promote it, like separate ourselves. But this could be what brought us together, instead of like, oh, well, I'm Black, you're white. I'm Mexican. I'm this. I'm Jewish. I'm whatever. No, you're not. And that's the truth because you're 7% Italian. So it's like, and nobody else is either, except for my friend Clyde. He's like 100% Ashkenazi Jewish. But those are rare finds. But still, it's like America wouldn't work if we were all, look at all the other countries in the world. They're all 100% of whatever they are. Like there aren't any mixed like races around the world, really. Except for the
Exactly.
United States.
It's all homogenous. And this has been so much fun, right? Getting into the weeds of like a unibrow or 3.8%.
What is really my unibrow? I want to know my real unibrow statistic because I think you're lying, right? And I don't have that.
It's about half. It's about half. So we will debunk that offline.
Real number, because
I think it is about half. It was about 50%. So that you would have
mad. No, you're mad about your unibrow and you're trying to unibrow me because I don't have a unibrow. Everybody can see that.
I mean, same. So I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe we need to get a vision test for you next because my unibrow is, nowhere to be seen. But what I was going to say, Joe, is
don't lie.
This has been so much fun going into all this, but at the end, it's sort of like, what's the point, right? Like, what's the point of like grilling each other and riffing on each other's heritage and ancestry and all that? And I really love what you just said, and not to be all yay, rah, rah, camaraderie, whatever, but it's so true. And I feel like we've gotten so far down this path. Like everything is a competition. Everything is the victim Olympics. And I love celebrating who I am every now and then? Will I wear a Star of David or, tout my Italian off the boat heritage? Absolutely. But
or wear a Black Lives t-shirt. Black Lives Matter.
That's getting returned at Amazon approximately 10 minutes after that. No, but there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like, but to the Black Lives Matter thing, right? It's like, to what end? And now it's just like, stop with all of this nonsense, right? Because you're exactly right. We are the melting pot. We're the wealthiest, strongest country in the world. And do we all want to be just homogenous? No. So it's sort of like it ends now. Stop the nonsense and let's get along and celebrate the fact that, you know what, maybe we all are all 0.7 Black or Indian or Asian or something in there. But at the end of the day, it's like, where is this all getting us, right?
You said it. Celebrate our differences. And I know we heard it in kindergarten and we heard it in grade school, but now we actually can see that we truly are different people and we're a mix of different people that work together, that create this society in which has exceeded all before it. And it represents 4% of the world's total population, but contributes like 2/3 of the economy. It's crazy. I mean, with the amount of people the United States has, but this melting pot has worked. It worked. And it's what you're talking about. The more that people try to identify and fight it and draw lines in the sand and say, well, we're Black, we're Mexican, we're Jewish, we're this, it doesn't work. It no longer works. And it's a waste of time. And everybody should get a test like this and then bring yourself closer together with someone who's like you.
Yeah. And you know what? You're exactly right. If we were to go down this path, every culture in history has colonized, monopolized, fought against, tried to exterminate another. If we were to go down the path of every single one, we would literally be here until Elon Musk is like 100 and is still pumping out kids and is still breeding. Okay. So that is just like, that is another thing. I agree with you for another time, but that's that on that for me, at least right now, Joe. I mean, thank you guys for watching Undress, watching me undress, literally, and watching us undress our ancestry here. I hope you guys all subscribe and share. And Joe, I'm going to get started on planning for Kwanzaa if it's not too early. And I'm hoping you and maybe some of our audience members can join. And, unless you have anything else to add.
Well, yeah. I just have one question just before we go. I mean, Can you explain what is Kwanzaa?
I just found out I was black like 2 days ago. Okay, Joe. What
And
do
you couldn't Google Kwanzaa in 2 days? Jesus Christ. What were you doing? How many times do you go to the bathroom a day? My
I was
God.
ordering my BLM shirt, you know?
Okay. All right.
As you should have, you bad. I see you had some African in there too. So, you know what? I'll give you till next show. I'll give you till next show.
But I got a Kwanzaa tree. Where's yours? Does Kwanzaa have trees?
Yeah, it's December 26th to January 1st, by the way.
Yeah. And what do people do during Kwanzaa, Taylor? You're so full of shit. No idea.
Okay, Mr. Ashkenazi, you want to talk about Hanukkah? You want to do that? You want to do that? Where are my earrings? You want to talk about Hanukkah, buddy? You say you're calling me out on Kwanzaa? You Ashkenazi my ass.
You had 2 days, Taylor. You had 2 days to research.
So did you? What is your excuse?
Oh, and I can tell you more about
Jews
than you can.
Jew boy. Bad Jew.
Oh, ask me a question. You didn't.
Bad Jew. And for your information on Kwanzaa, we Africans feast. So I will just leave it at that unless there's anything else you want to say to our lovely mixed race undressed audience who is likely going to share this with all of their friends, because how could you not, right? I mean,
how could you not? I mean,
exactly.
Kwanzaa's only a year away, right? And you are by then hopefully will know what to do during that period of time.
Well, we're not going for Hanukkah because you won't even know what it is by then.
No, but Kwanzaa's kind of dumb, but we'll talk about that. But come on, it was like invented in like the
Kwanzaa,
70s
the celebration of our family and heritage. And I say "our" because you had North African too.
Yeah, but my black friends don't celebrate Kwanzaa. Okay, like they just don't. They celebrate Christmas. Quincy Jones, one of my best friends, he never had a Kwanzaa anything ever at his house.
It's all about honoring ancestors and our heritage. What this was all about today in our own undressed way, right? So
right. It's true.
As long as everybody, you don't, like Joe said, go too far, go so ham, put it in everybody's face to where everything is a competition. And like you said, Joe, we can all celebrate the mix, that we're all a little mixed, and we're good. Then anyone can come to my Kwanzaa Hanukkah celebration.
And the same needs to be applied now. The DEI is dead to sexual orientation, whatever you ever may be, who you are. Embrace each other. We're all different. Just quit talking about it and publicizing it. We just don't need it in our face about any of it, like all of it, because we want to get to know you, and we're all the same.
Yep. And with that, we want to know who you think is the dumb blonde of us two, given that Joe tried to make me the dumb blonde, but doesn't even know what Hanukkah is about. So,
we're going to do that. How did I do that? So you had 2 days to research Kwanzaa. You've known you were black for 2 days. My God, it's like
you've known the Ashkenazi Jew, Mr. Ashkenazi Jew.
Black, and you went out on the
What's Rosh Hashanah? What's Yom Kippur? Oh, okay. You know what? I'm going to educate you amongst other things.
No, I answered the question. Where's my point on the board? Jewish New Year.
Wow. But that's Rosh Hashanah. It doesn't even know. You know what? That says it all. That says it all. That says it all. You know, Joe works hard, but his Siri works harder. Okay. That he just basically probably asks on the side. So, Joe, let's just, go on.
We will call it.
Trail on. March on.
Yes, we will march. We will accept our differences between ourselves, and we will carry on, even though we're partially related, which is a little ancestral, but we will move forward in this fight together.
L'chaim.